What's going on, YouTube? Reezonoticz coming back at you once again, and I'm doing a video that I normally wouldn't do. You know, I normally don't like to do this, but I feel like I have no choice but to do this because I was. I mean, let me just tell you the story. Basically, I made a video, as y'all know, my subscribers, my followers, people that watch my videos, they know that I made a video recently in the last couple of days called my thoughts on the reaction to the Xbox One reveal. And I said in that video that I feel like the internet, like the gaming community is a lot like the internet wrestling community. It's just a bunch of spoiled brats. You know, the majority, not everybody, but the majority of the gaming community is a bunch of spoiled, insatiable brats who just will never be happy no matter what the game makers give them, be it Nintendo, Sony, or Microsoft. They can never do enough to make y'all happy. You always got something to complain about. You're always going to come out and you know, just post rants and about, you know, how they didn't do this or they did this and I don't like this, and you know, there's always going to be something like that. But what I was trying to say is that it's the majority of us that come out there with this garbage. So I made this video and I just spoke my mind and I said what I feel. You know, all of a sudden I get some feedback from a bunch of people, you know, and then one guy comes out. I think his name was his YouTube name was Andrewgrp36over, something like that. I don't know what it's supposed to mean, but that's neither here nor there. That's his name, Andrew36grpover. I'm pretty sure that's how it is. I'm doing this off the top of my mind. So the dude comes back, and his very first post on my video is, oh yeah, let's just be passive, let's not have a voice, let's let these companies roll over us and do whatever they want. You know what, you're just the kind of sheep that these big game companies like to see and they like to manipulate. You know, you're just a sheep. So, you know, I fire back and we go back and forth for a little while, and he left the post, and this was all while I was at work. That's the funny part, is I'm you know, answering while I'm at work, and this dude leaves a post. Last post that he left, long ass one. Nothing he left was short. It was all like encyclopedia status. And so I look at it and I read it. I'm driving home and I read over the contents of what he put there. And he said that I'm making a lot of assumptions about him. That I'm thinking that I'm talking to some kid who doesn't know about video games and whatnot, and yada yada yada. So I say, you know what, I'm gonna respond to this. You know, I'm not gonna make a video, but I'm gonna respond. But when I try to go respond, most of y'all who know me, who follow me, who follow my videos, you know that I do this on an iPad. I don't have my laptop right now. I don't have the Mac that I want to get, you know, in the near future. When I do, oh, my video's gonna be sick. But right now I'm doing this off an iPad and off my iPhone. So I mean, the video that he's talking about, the video that he's responding on, I did from my iPhone on the way home from work. So all of a sudden I said, you know, I'm gonna respond to this, but I start trying to type away comments to respond to him, and there's only a certain number of characters you can type, and the iPad, you know, the touch keyboard on the iPad is very touchy, and you be doing typos and all that. So Andrew36grpover, you're gonna see that there's like 15 comments after the one you left, me just trying to voice my opinion back to you, but it's just getting tripped up and mad typos and mad comments, and you know, we don't need none of that. So I said, you know what, let me do a video so I can elaborate my thoughts, so I can just basically express exactly what I'm trying to say. Okay, based on your last comment, I'm making a lot of assumptions about you. Now, I pride myself on being an individual who lives by integrity, or tries to at least. I'm not perfect, but let's do this. You know, okay, you know what, you're right. I did make an assumption about you. I assumed, in one of my comments to him, I said, you know what, you're probably one of those dudes who slams a console at launch or at its debut and slams it and hates on it and blah 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 blah, but then when something good comes out for it and it gets rolling and it gets ahead of steam, oh, all of a sudden you're praising it like if nothing ever happened, like you were never hating on it. That wasn't fair of me, because I don't know you, I don't know anything about you, so I can't really say that. I was saying that based off the comments that you were posting, because you sound like the general majority of these hating ass dudes who just comment and just post and rant about system and game after game and after system, just nothing good to say, always, no matter what. That's what you sounded like. So that's my apologies. I'm not being disrespectful right now, I'm being real. My apologies. I should have never said that that was an assumption. But if you want to get technical, and this is why I wanted to make this video, this is my response, because I couldn't type it down, there's too many words, there's too many, you know, comments and all that. Here's what it is. You made an assumption about me before I ever made an assumption about you. That's number one. Number two, not only did you make an assumption about me, but you crossed the line with disrespecting and name calling. You said in one of your posts, and anybody who wants to can go back at the video, my thoughts on the Xbox reveal, or reaction to Xbox reveal, and you can see the entire chain of comments. In your comments, you said that we were having a discussion between you and me, a discussion. Well, within any normal, educated discussion or debate, the person that refrains, or I don't want to say refrain because that's not the right word, the person who results to name-calling and disrespecting first has automatically lost all credibility because they are unable to communicate their thoughts in a respectful and eloquent manner. They're just coming out disrespecting and name-calling because they got nothing better else to do. They got nothing better else to fill their lines with. So not only did you make an assumption about me, and I'm going to break this down. I'm going to go one by one on all the points that I'm making, but not only did you make an assumption about me before I ever got involved, because you were the first one to post, you posted on my video talking about I'm a sheep. And I'm just, I'm the type of sheep that these companies love to see. And I'm just being passive and blah, 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 blah. So you made an assumption about me. You called me a name and disrespected me. Let me go through this real quick. Not only did you make an assumption about me and did you call me a name, but you made another assumption about me. You made two assumptions about me. Number one, you assumed like your assumption and your disrespect is tied into the same weave, because at the same time that you disrespected me and you called me a name, you said I'm a sheep. You said I'm a sheep. Homie, I don't know how old you are. I don't give a shit how old you are. Okay, I don't care how long you've been gaming. I know how long I've been gaming. I've been gaming for well over 20 years. Okay, I've been through Atari, Nintendo, Sega, Microsoft, Sony, ColecoVision, and all in between. Alright, I've been there. Alright, now let me tell you something. You called me a sheep. First of all, that's disrespect, and it's an assumption because you assume that I'm jumping up and just defending Microsoft. You obviously made a big ass assumption because you didn't know the facts. You didn't know who you were dealing with. And I don't say that cocky or arrogant. I say that realistically. You didn't know who you were dealing with. Because had you gone back and seen my 200 plus videos on YouTube and done a little research on the facts of who you were calling a sheep, you would have seen throughout those videos an obvious, strong-hearted support for Nintendo and an obvious lack of support and anything good to say about Microsoft. I've never had anything good to say about Microsoft, ever. I've always said that Microsoft doesn't catch my attention, that the systems that they make are of a garbage quality when it comes to the craftsmanship, that they never innovate, that they don't have any games or anything worthwhile for me. I've always said that. But all of a sudden, they finally show me something that I'm actually impressed with, and I come out for the first time ever in my YouTube history and defend them, and all of a sudden, I'm a sheep. Someone's feeling crunchy. Because my YouTube audience, the people that watch me and follow my videos, know damn well what I'm talking about. I've never had anything good to say about Microsoft. But now I defend them for the first time ever, and I'm a sheep. Secondly, like I said, you disrespected. I didn't call you a name. I didn't come out and diss you like that. But you calling me a sheep. Like someone who don't know about games. Like someone who don't know about systems. Like someone who don't know the history of this industry. Homie, please, I done been there, done that, come back around twice. Alright, I've been doing this. And you talking about, oh, I'm a sheep. I'm a sheep. I'm exactly the kind of sheep that these companies love to see, that I'm being passive. Like I told you in my other comments, I ain't being passive. It's very simple. My formula is very simple. Speak from the heart, rep what you believe. Yo, if I see something I like, I buy it. I praise it and I talk about it. If I see something I don't like, I talk about it and I don't buy it. Ain't no company gonna get me to buy something that I don't see worthwhile. And by the way, also, all this gibberish that you're talking about, them trying to control us, people see it in the comments, trying to control what we're doing, the internet, the sub fees, all this, the blocking used games. The blocking used games has not been confirmed officially by Microsoft. If it does, that's going to be a negative against them for me, and I've been watching this, but it has not been confirmed. Them being an online always connection, their CEO cleared this up, not completely crystal clear. It's still kind of vague, but he did say you would be able to enjoy games and enjoy many of the system's features without an always online connection. We'll see what that means when it launches. But while you think I'm being naive and being passive and swallowing all the bullcrap that this big company is feeding me, I think you're jumping the gun and being presumptuous and not knowing what the fuck you're talking about, because you sound just like all those people out there that I've been saying for years. just like the 90% of the gaming community, that you think and you swear in your heart of hearts that you could have made this system better. That the Wii U, you could have made it better. PlayStation 3, you could have made it better. You sound like one of those dudes. I'm not saying you are. I'm saying by your comments, you sound like one of those dudes that just, no matter what they give you, you're not happy with it, and you swear you could have done it better. Like I said, man, I don't normally do this kind of thing, but I couldn't elaborate my thoughts on the keyboard, especially on an iPad. It was giving me millions of comments, as you will see when you look at the thread. But I just felt like I had to respond. I felt like this dude deserved the response from me. I felt like my people on YouTube that watched me deserved a response from me, and to see where I stand on this. I think you, Andrewgrp36over, whatever your name is, no disrespect, but I don't remember off the top of my head. I think that before I ever made an assumption about you, which I did and I already apologized for, I think you made a couple of assumptions about me and also disrespected me and called me names. And as I said before, in any debate, in any discussion, as you say we were having, you've already lost all credibility. So you've lost all credibility because you came out the gates with name calling and disrespect like if we were in 3rd grade in the schoolyard. Number 2, you lost all credibility because you didn't study your opponent. You didn't study the facts. You didn't study my history. Come out here calling me a sheep like if I'm out here defending Microsoft, when first of all I'm defending all 3 systems and the hate that they're all receiving. But I'm just standing more for Microsoft at this point because they just had a release and that's what the video was about. But when you go back and you look at my history, you see that I've never had anything good to say about Microsoft. So how am I a sheep if I'm defending them for the first time in my YouTube history? And if you would know me personally, first time in my history, period. So you lost all credibility on that. I mean, there is nothing else to argue about. I'm not the kind of dude that goes back and forth for days and weeks on end and loses sleep over YouTube debates and all this. I ain't gonna do that. But I just a little advice for the future: when you try to assume and disrespect and come at people like you know what you're talking about. And I'm not saying you don't know what you're talking about, but I'm saying like come off like with this superiority thing, like you're just gonna just start talking on their videos and stuff and calling them names and disrespecting them and crossing a line and making assumptions, and then you want to say that they're making assumptions. Study your opponent. Look, if they're especially on YouTube, it's very easy. Go and look at their videos. Study their videos. See if they really are a sheep like you're saying they are. Because in this case, if you would have gone back and looked at my videos, you would have seen I'm not a sheep. I've never ever had anything good to say about Microsoft. I've always been pro Nintendo, and at some points supported Sony in the recent past with the PlayStation 3 being as good as it was, and that's about it. Never gave Microsoft any love. Always told the Microsoft fans, no disrespect, but I'm not with that system. I think it's garbage. But never had anything good to say about them. But I'm a sheep. Yo, like I said, man, this video's a wrap. I've said my piece. I've given my points. Like I said to Andrewgrp36over. Again, I don't remember your name completely off the top of my head. No disrespect intended. But when you fire on someone like that, and you want to accuse them of making accusations and making, or not accusations, I'm sorry, assumptions, know what you're talking about. Because before I ever said anything, you made a boatload of assumptions about me and even crossed the line and made a disrespectful comment. And it is a disrespectful comment, especially when you're talking about somebody who's been involved with games and gaming for over 20 years. Holla at your boys. Reezonoticz. God bless y'all and stay gaming. Peace.